we got a lot of buzz surrounding a big rumor people have been picking up in the last few hours that PlayStation is actively working on a handheld device codenamed Q-Lite that could be potentially hitting the market next year. Now, we're hearing a lot of alleged details on the new platform. It has an 8-inch touchscreen, adaptive triggers, and a potential kicker here with, again, one of the rumors spreading around that it will have an always online component to the device where it would depend on the PS5 via remote play, as that feature has been getting pushed a lot by Sony as of late. So is Sony making a big move back into the mobile market? I got King with me, man. Let's talk about it, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good about this. There's literally only one thing at the end that, strikes a negative, but everything else is actually really good. I don't see why they shouldn't. I think this is a good idea. I mean, everyone's always asking for the PSP, right? Everyone's always asking for the VR. Like, handheld to play the games that Sony's library has is a good idea.
Yeah.
8-inch screen. I've got my iPhone in my hands right now. The screen would be basically this size with a little extra give for the joysticks and controls. This is a really good size. Like, it's super portable. So I would be down. But yeah, the whole needing the PS5 remote play, I don't know how people are gonna feel about that one.
Yeah, honestly, this is how I feel. I ain't gonna lie. Like this would have been a elite idea about like 3 to 4 years ago. This would have been an insane idea. I feel like the Switch has gone pretty much dominant in the handheld market for about a good what? When did the Switch come out? Like 16? 14?
Yeah, 16,
16, 17, something like that for a good 5+ years. The Switch has been dominant in the handheld scene. And it's like, not necessarily because Sony and Nintendo run in the same markets, but just because there was a lack of a true competitor in that sense. And now, you know what I'm saying, you're looking at today's landscape, you're seeing the Logitech the G Cloud, the ANAO2, the ROG Ally, like a lot of different like cloud-based ones. You see the Steam Deck, which is a titan right now. It's taking everything by storm. Everybody's loving the Steam Deck. I'm just like, the timing is a bit of a pain in the ass for me, because it's like, yo, there's a lot of things that could go wrong with this stuff. I will say that I'll start with the positive first, though. The benefit of the PlayStation library is immense. I agree with you there. Having that ability to tap into, their back catalog and whatever, and again, hopefully integrate it with the PlayStation Plus experience, having some of those free games and you being able to access that stuff, really harnessing the power of that library is a really big plus. And if they're able to translate the the power of it, I'm saying, like, at minimum like 1080p, if they can get 60 frames, awesome. If they can harness enough of qualitative power into this device from whatever PlayStation library, whatever they're doing in the hardware, this could be a solid sell. This can be a solid sell. But what I will say is what positives they have in their library, and potentially again the hardware output that can be pretty solid. I think it's pretty close. It's pretty closely stacked with the negatives that are up against them. Like when you think about one, this always online component. I ain't gonna lie here. Everybody's been trying to fight this for years, bro. This is not a new thing. We do not want this in the gaming community. I'm not gonna lie. Do you see how people is? The funniest thing is, I'm about to say, we were talking about on the podcast, youtube.com/@NoCooldown for the podcast episode, the full one. We were talking about E3, and one of the funniest things that came from E3 was years ago was Sony clowning Xbox on DRM stuff and always online things, and they just went the opposite way, say, we're not going to be online. We're not going to require you to be online. Well, Xbox was going through hell with those DRM issues during the Xbox, like the Xbox One era, like early Xbox One, like. And now you want to add that component and like hinge it on a PS5 and being near a PS5 to just, to run. I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about that. That I feel like that really does defeat somewhat of the purpose. And again, if you're not going to be cloud streaming, but you're still going to be connected to the PS5 in some way, shape, or form, that just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel on. I ain't gonna lie. So it's a little unnerving. I'm gonna be real. It's a little unnerving. But that's just only one thing. And then that's just their problems. When you look at the marketplace again, cloud gaming is starting to pick up some steam, at least in their product set. I'm not saying that's like the hardest thing to hurdle over, because PlayStation's catalog is huge and their brand value is going to be big, so people are going to buy it regardless, and their catalog is nice, so they're going to jump over that. But as what's it called? We get into, you know, more viable forms of cloud gaming, that will become more of a problem. But the biggest thing is Steam Decks exist. Steam Decks exist. The void for other games that, you know, needed to be filled, like non-Nintendo stuff and a mobile platform, that's being filled up by the Steam Deck slot, in my opinion. And I'm like, yes, it might be some decent competition with PlayStation's catalog, but I highly doubt that you're going to be able to sell a very comparative and competitive piece of hardware on the mobile standpoint that is around the same price range as a Steam Deck. $399 for a Steam Deck is solid. I can't even lie. And that's just on the minimum storage settings. It still runs really well. So either they're taking a dip in the quality, or, you know, they're going to ramp up that price a little bit and charge a little premium because it's got PlayStation's name on it. You know what I'm saying? But I will say this. I am hopeful that this can be good, but let's not neglect history. You know what I'm saying? A couple of times, PlayStation platforms that were mobile were going hot, but they were not supported. They were not supported, and people forgot about them. It fell to the wayside. PS Vita, people even don't even know what a PS Vita is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to neglect the history of this just because you guys want to jump in the mobile market. You guys want to jump in the handheld market and stuff like that, because it's back hot right now. It's bleeding over into, you know, again, the handheld stuff. Mobile is again, it's the biggest segment of gaming. So I think we talked about this like a long time ago too. Like, everybody's gonna want to chomp at the bit to get back in the mobile space some way, somehow, because it's big money. It's only gonna be bigger money because the access, you know what I'm saying? But I can't neglect the track record of not being able to fully support this. I hope there's a difference. I believe we also talked about a long time ago them opening up mobile specific studios and actually having some content and pipelines to really build consistent support in terms of the content and the gaming stuff that you actually get on these platforms. So I'm hoping that is the case, and that holds true to, you know, whatever this thing is. But I would say I don't think this is going to have the positive, the breakthrough, the dominant impact that people might think it has, because I'd say there's a lot of great setup for them stuff. For the Sony niche, there's going to be loyalists. There's going to be people who buy this outright. Wonderful, cool. But in execution, will it be as powerful as a Steam Deck? Will it be similarly priced as a Steam Deck? Will it run into issues or not? Like, you know, there's a lot of big pitfalls to come this late in the game, but, you know, that's usually how it is. You know, it's going to be early movers. It's going to be the big dogs that kind of see the efficacy in it, and like they're going to wait till it's a proven thing or slightly proven to stake their claim in that area. But it is what it is. I just hope that whatever comes through it, there's quality and continuity with support, because my Vita's collecting dust somewhere in my house right now. And if I pull it out, I can just see the PTSD of it being unsupported for years. So if you're going to do it all the way and support this all the way through, and maybe it'll be a viable solution. But, you know, Steam Decks exist. So there's that. That's all I'm saying.
How much is a PS5?
A PS5.
Like a disc version is like $550.
Yep.
Like a digital. It's like
digital, like
$450.
Something like that.
So this is gonna be around 300, 200, like 250, 300 price range.
Yeah. And if the requirement of needing a PS5 is true, you spent like minimum $700. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
minimum $700 down the drain.
I was about to make, like, you're spending that much money for what, essentially? Because like Sony's catalog is great, but is it worth that just to experience that? No, never.
That's a lot of hoops to jump through.
Like, the people making the decision to force you to need a PS5 is just like smoking actual monkey nut, because it's like like, think about how much money you would make if you could just buy a fucking Q-Lite, you know? Like,
Man.
why do you need to have a PS5? Half the world, like, imagine they tried to launch this like before, when there was no PS5s. You'd just be putting yourself in a deep hole.
Yep.
For no reason.
Yep. And I'm just I'm fearful of what might actually, you know, happen. And because I completely see them saying, oh yeah, this is going to require constant connectivity to the internet. This is going to have to be a constant thing. You're going to have to be, you know, there and just have it in that way. And the lack of consideration for accessibility for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would it need to be always online for certain things? Like,
What?
when we're looking at the Steam Deck, who's doing this in real time, they don't need all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they have so many more features to boot. So it's like, it feels like you're shooting yourself in the foot because there's already stuff to really compare it to in this market space. Like, it was, if it was early doors and it was only the Switch still, I would have been like, okay, maybe we'll see how this plays out. But now we have the Steam Deck bases. Now we have the more cloud gaming basis ones. Like, there's a lot of examples out there that we can see how handheld stuff actually functions in 2023 and beyond. But looking at it now, it's like, bro, if you're going to be constantly online, I don't really need it like that. You know what I'm saying?
You might as well just download the PS5 remote app on your iPhone.
Facts.
There's no reason for this. You're paying hundreds for that same exact experience.
Facts. This is a very thin tightrope that they have to walk. And I think some of these features need to be walked back. This online thing needs to be walked back if it's going to be like truly attractive. You know what I'm saying? To people looking into stuff. There's going to be people who buy it outright, but I feel like in execution, when you see stuff already is doing numbers, Steam Deck is doing numbers, you know what I'm saying? Some of these cloud gaming things are actually, holding some weight. You know what I'm saying? And they're only going to get stronger over time as, things get better with connectivity, problems and whatnot. PlayStation, they can't just waltz in with their usual swagger and say, oh yeah, hold this mobile platform, whatever you like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever's on there, you'll accept it. Nah, you got to come with a game plan because we got examples of real quality here in this marketplace already. So tread lightly and make the right step first, or else it's gonna be a shot in the foot.
Yeah, I think it's like the same kind of situation that happened with Apple. It's a lot more subtle because Apple is just that elite company.
Mm-hmm.
But you know how they now have like a lot of budget friendly options.
Yeah.
Instead of just here's the iPhone, here's the Pro. Fuck you. You know
Mm-hmm.
like, that doesn't happen anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of a little bit more understanding towards the people's a normal person's economic situation.
Facts.
I think PlayStation is getting to that part now. It's like I think they're gonna get humbled by their reactions to some of the stuff they probably got planned just by seeing the news of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because it just feels like they're way out of touch. Out of touch.
Yeah. Joint's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Like, for all that, I could just get a backbone and just connect it to my phone and be kicking it. Like, literally. It's whatever. It's whatever. But I'm still interested to see how this plays out. But this could be a really big shake up in the mobile space. But it's gold rush time, man. Everybody's rushing to it. So it's interesting to see what everybody's coming out with. So PlayStation, we shall see.